Break the board sports. It's your boy RJ Cash. 4 p.m. Slate NFL betting trends. We got Panthers, Cardinals. We got Bo Nix and the Broncos. Are the Colts going to look as good as they did against Miami, or is Miami really as bad as what we think? And then the Super Bowl rematch. Are the Chiefs going to get trucked again with no wide receiver help? All that and more. Again, go to breaktheboardsports.com. We got notes up on all these games to help you become a better handicapper. That's what we do here. Our goal is to help you become a better handicapper at breaktheboardsports.com. Let's get into it. First off, Panthers and Cardinals. Right now, line setting at Cardinals -6.5. There is a couple sevens offshore. 44.5 is the over-under. Now, let's get into the splits. 70% of the money and 82% of the bets on the Cardinals. 30% of the money and 18%, 30% of the bets and 18% of the money is on the Cardinals. So 18% of money, 18% of money on the Panthers, 82% of money on the Cardinals. That over under of 44.5, 43% of the bets are on the over, 90% of the bets are on the over, 90% of the handle. Tongue tied this morning, 57% to the under, and 10% of the handle goes to the under in that one. So for the Cardinals, and the Panthers 5-15 straight up their last 20, but they're 7-1 against the spread the last 8 times these two teams have hooked up. Carolina 7-3 its last 10 games overall. Pretty impressive considering their win-loss record. But again, betting's not about winning straight up. It's about against the spread, and Carolina has been very faithful. 7-3 ATS the last 10. Cardinals, they're 4-1 ATS their last 5. When these two teams have matched up in their last 8 games, that total has flown over 6 of the 8 games. Cardinals 5-1 against the spread at home, so they've been a covering machine when they get there to Glendale, Arizona. Dive in a little bit more into this one. A couple other trends that I thought were interesting would be helpful for you. Again, breaktheboardsports.com, all about you becoming a better handicapper. The second half spread, the Cardinals have covered that 8 of the last 9 games. So if you've been following that trend, you'd be up 7.3 units, about a 71% return on your investment. And the Cardinals have hit the first half game total over. Now, that total over under is set at 22.5 right now. If you took that over, 7 of the last 10 has went over the total for the Cardinals games in the first half. You'd be up 4.75 units, about 40% return on your investment. Now, the Panthers, they've hit the first half over. We just talked about that with the Cardinals. Panthers have hit that first half over 14 of their last 18 games. Good return right there. 10.55 units you'd be up, along with a 51% return on your investment. So definitely some positive money that you can make there for sure. These two teams faced up last year in Carolina. Carolina won that game 36-30 in overtime. Now you're getting 6.5, maybe a 7 out there. Lean to me definitely is Carolina. Look, that Arizona Cardinals team struggled mightily, and you can make the argument they should have lost that game to the New Orleans Saints, and we all know how bad the Saints are. So, again, lean would be Panthers, no official play. Broncos at the Colts. This got all the way down to a pick. It was 2.5, got all the way down to a pick. Now we're back to 2.5. 65% of the bets on the Broncos, 35% of the bets on the Colts. Now, when you look at the handle, 54% to the Broncos, 46% to the Colts. That over-under setting at 43.5 right now. 70% of the money on the under with 47% of the bets. 30% of the money on the over with 53% of the bets. Remember, I always tell you, when you see that lopside where the bets have a higher percentage than the money, that's typically public, as to where if you have lower percentage of bets but higher percentage of money, that's typically your Joe's. So pros, Joe's distinction there, not always, but it's about an 85-90% chance that's what's going on in that one. When you go to the Broncos, 1-4 against the spread their last 5 games. I did not think they looked good against Tennessee. Tennessee's defense really bottled them up. The Colts, I mean, they scored on almost every possession there to start the game. And then with Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, and then this Warren kid at tight end, the Bears really missed the boat drafting Loveland. Warren out of Penn State is just a beast. Now, Denver is 6-3 straight up its last 9. Head-to-head, Denver, 4-1 against the spread their last 5 versus Indianapolis. However, they're just 4-10 straight up the last 14 meetings with the Colts. Colts, again, they covered last week. That puts them at 2-5 against the spread over their last 7. Colts games have went over the total 6 of the last 9 games, and the Colts are 6-2 straight up at home. So they have did very well at home. Couple other trends to get into. Again, we talked about the Broncos. Last 21 games, 14-7 straight up. If you've been following that, you're up 10.35 units, about a 24% return on your investment. The Broncos, 12-7 ATS for the first half spread. You can find them as low as a pick down at DraftKings. If you've been following that consistently, you'd be 4.1 units up, 19% ROI. Broncos have hit the first half game total over. So the first half is setting at 20.5. You can find that at FanDuel and BetMGM. First half over, 14-5 over the last 19. So that puts you 9 games over 500, but 8.1 units over up and 36% return on your investment. Again, just a really good ROI there on that one. And then head to head, as far as these two teams go, you got to go back a little bit to December 15th of last year in Denver. Of course, Colts were a different team. Denver was a different team. Denver won that 31-13. Now we'll see how they do at Indianapolis. For me, call me a sucker. I'm going to have to ride the Broncos on the money line. This is a lot like Georgia for me yesterday, as to where I don't want to mess with points. I'll lay a little bit higher number. Now, this Denver one, you can find around $1.35, $1.40. I would lay the Broncos on the money line and hope that they get through the number for you. Colts, I still got to see more from Daniel Jones. I thought the Dolphins were really bad, and maybe that Titans defense is a little more stout than what we thought they were. Cam Ward only completed 4 passes there midway through the fourth quarter to wide receivers. So I think the Colts, obviously, they have a better run game with Jonathan Taylor. I just think the Colts are going to give the Broncos some problems. But in the end, I like the Broncos on the money line to get across the finish line for us. Last game in the 4 p.m. slate in the Super Bowl rematch. Remember last year, the score was not any indication of that game, how spread out it really was. Eagles blew them out. Chiefs got a bunch of garbage points there at the end. Now, this one is bounced around a lot with the number. Philly or Kansas City on the look-ahead line was -1.5. It's flipped to Eagles -1.5. 74% of bets on the Eagles, 26% of bets on the Chiefs here on Sunday morning, 65% of the handle to the Eagles, 35% to the Chiefs. Your over-under sets at 46.5. Dead even, 73% of bets and handle to the over, 27% to the under. Just me personally, if the Chiefs are going to stay in this game, it's going to have to go under. They're going to have to be able to run the ball with Pacheco. I did think Dallas, even though Jalen Carter went out of the game early, I thought Dallas was really able to run the ball. And that was supposed to be their weakest point this year, was on the ground. And I felt like they gashed the Eagles plenty. Kansas City's got the home crowd behind them. I think, again, I'm a big fan of 7-point teasers. People are like, I don't want to lay $1.40 for a 7-pointer. Listen, I want the touchdown with the extra point. Just ask Notre Dame how important those extra points are. Ask Tennessee how important they are. That extra point is all so important for another 10 cents juice. I love the Chiefs being teased to +8.5. I don't think they get blown out. I think they try to put together these long, methodical drives because they just don't have enough to stretch the field. Eagles are going to double down on Kelsey. I don't think he'll be very effective, but that Eagles defense was exposed by Dallas. I think the Chiefs getting 8.5 is a great play there. Could put them with somebody like the Bills at pick. Could put them with somebody like the Bears, taking them up to 13.5. So lots of different ways you could play it. A couple trends here for you to help you with your handicap. And again, Break the Board Sports, click that like button, hit subscribe. Eagles 10-4 ATS their last 14. They're on a 7-game win streak. Now, again, we just talked about Kansas City at home. All the money, all the bets going to the Eagles. But check this out. The Eagles 2-4 against the spread and straight up against the Chiefs. And one of those 2 victories was that Super Bowl blowout. Chiefs 1-4 ATS their last 5, but 16-4 straight up their last 20. The over has clicked 4 of the last 5 times these teams have met. But like I said, if Kansas City is going to hang around, they are going to have to run the ball and slow this thing down. Here's the other thing about the Chiefs, whether we want to admit or not. At home, they've been unbeatable. 13 straight wins for the Chiefs at home. Again, that's why I like taking that 7-point teaser, taking them up to plus 8.5. I think that's great value. Now, Eagles, first half money line, 17-5 over their last 22. If you've been following that, you're up 14.41 units, 33% ROI. But again, the Chiefs have hit the money line in the first half, 9 of the last 10. That would have put you up 8 units. Their Eagles have covered the spread 7-2 on the road their last 9. That would put you up 4.8 units, a 48% return on your investment. Again, Chiefs and a teaser is the play. I would put them with another dog. Dogs have been barking. Maybe you get the Bears in that 7-pointer plus 13.5. I could also see bringing Buffalo down to a pick, bringing the Cowboys over to plus 1.5. So different options there for you for sure. Again, breaktheboardsports.com. Click on that notes blog section. We got free breakdowns. Print them off. Take them to your sports book with you. Hold them in your recliner. Quick bullet point notes that you can just go down through. We'll have another show breaking down the Sunday night football game, Vikings and Falcons, as well as baseball for today. God bless you. Happy handicapping.